What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. So, I was sent this clip, and this is a guy. I don't know what state he's in. I don't know what state he's from, but he's going to explain that he's done over 20 years in the federal system. And he's going to give his point of view on dealing with Mexicans while incarcerated. I feel this is very interesting. And I'm sure people will be mad at me for what he said. But I'm going to react to it, and let's get to it.
Now, me and some of the homies had a deep conversation. I said, man, only people that go against each other is the black gangs. Now, I can't speak what's going on the streets at the location, even in the joint. We only have problem with each other. We are afraid of the Latino and Mexican gangs. We can say what we want. There's going to be some dudes on here that don't argue all day long with me. But I was in the joint. I did almost 20 years straight in the feds.
So this is a very controversial thing. And those that want to be upset, don't be upset with me. I'm going to do my reaction to what he says. I'm going to be as unbiased as I always am. People feel I'm biased. Some people, and I feel like the people that feel I'm biased are just people that don't like me, and no matter what I did, I would be biased, right? But again, this man is speaking from 20 years of experience in the federal system. I was never in the federal system, but he's going to say some things that are key, and that's where I'm going to focus some energy on.
And that goes from the penitentiary to the medium highs. And one thing about it, when the MAs come, the Mexicans come, the brothers try to get out of the way. You only had so many brothers that would go hard. First thing they gonna say, man, I'm trying to go home, man. I ain't trying to get caught up in that. You only got so many riding down, and I'm the one that maybe doing natural life. But the MAs, we are scared of them. We are afraid of all the Mexicans.
And I'm gonna talk about, that's what I want to talk about right there. I did a video about this, not black fear, but why I believe Southern raza and then raza period are more dominant in prison in California in the state system. Okay. And Cartoon 5 Trey, he did a response video, and he never said blacks are scared. I'm not gonna say blacks are scared. I'm not gonna say that. But the reality is, when raza move, every single one of them is expected to move with a weapon and use that weapon. And during a riot, any Mexican noticed not participating, he's gonna get hit. The raza will whack him. Now, I told a story years ago about a handball court, and I was in the discussion, me and a Kumi. Somebody assigned this dude to speak for the Kumis. The Kumis assigned someone for me to engage with verbally. We had a conversation, and he spoke from a place of arrogance and ignorance, because he said, y'all ain't got the numbers anyways. At the time, there was probably 120 of us, 120 Southerners on the yard. There was probably 500 blacks, right? So he said, y'all ain't got the numbers anyways. And I said, you believe that? And he says, yeah. I said, well, there's about 100 of us on the yard right now. 100 of us are going to bring out knives. I said, there's probably 500 you guys on the yard. Maybe 100 you guys bring out knives. I said, the fucking numbers are equal. I said, you want to do this? We could do this. I don't know what message he took back, but the issue died. Now, Nate 916 did a video on that handball court issue. The issue had nothing to do with Crips, Bloods, anybody else. The incident started over some Crips going to the handball court. We knew nothing about us supposedly sharing with the Kumis, and the Crips and Kumis don't even get along. So when the Crips showed up, it created some tension There were talks. You can go back to Nate Dogg 916, and see his video where he says, yeah, it was on the Kumis to get off. The day they were supposed to get off, I was out there that day. I told the story. You can go look it up. I don't think they didn't act out of fear. It's they never used the handball court. And the discussions that they had with whoever they had them with about that handball court were dudes that couldn't be on that yard. That was prior to Southerners, real Southerners hitting that facility and functioning there, you know. So this has been a thing that's been known amongst the population in California prisons is there are blacks that are very dangerous. There are blacks that will use a weapon. However, they're not the same as far as when it's time to roll, every single one of them is going to bring a knife out and use it. And that's what you hear out of this man right now. He's saying the same thing, and it's not that they're punks. They'll get down with somebody, but when it comes to bringing that steel out, it's a different thing.
Gangs. We can talk stuff. DC got to go against Ohio Black. DC got to go against Chicago. Chicago got to go against New York. But when it come down to Mexican, ain't nobody rolling against them. Because you know, when them 7-8 soldiers come, them 7-8 soldiers come to put in the work. And you might have 2 or 3 blacks that are willing to go all the way. Because a lot of us ain't got a natural life sentence. And a lot of us ain't never actually put in work that gunplay. I mean, with their steel. So when they get up in there, we get scared. We never go against the essays. We are extremely scared, and we know they're well-tuned machines. We know they take care of their business. They work out, they train, they got a protocol, they stick together. We don't.
I don't know. I can't. He's speaking for himself and maybe people who he's had open conversations with in the feds. The feds are different than the state. I'm not gonna co-sign that blacks are afraid of Mexicans. I do agree with what he's saying that blacks know when the Mexicans are gonna move, they're gonna come with straps. They're coming with knives, and they're not afraid of the gunners. The cops are not even on their mind. You know, when you're gonna go do something, you do think about it the day before. But when you hit that yard, you get tunnel vision, Holmes. And you get anger. You get anger at this right here is happening because somebody fucked up. Somewhere along the line, communication fell apart, and now we got to fucking do this. Fuck them. And you could be mad at your own people. Fuck these dudes, man. These motherfuckers don't know how to fucking communicate, and now we all got to do this, but let's go. Let's do it. You know? This is powerful, but it's very controversial because the words he's using. When he says blacks are extremely afraid, I don't believe that. There may be some, you know, there may be some. But it's just, they're you know, raza, it's ingrained in them. I've talked about in the build-up to the riot in Pelican Bay, there were, because of the Aztec, Mexica, indigenous roots that we have, there's, I don't want to say an indoctrination, but it's the best word. Through our schooling, we learned that our ancestors, the warriors in our ancestry, they believed that it was a wonderful thing to die in battle. And when you're in there, it gets ingrained in you. And I remember the day before the riot in Pelican Bay, somebody that I was really close to saying, tomorrow's a good day to die. He got a life sentence. He's going to go put in work, and he knows if he gets killed on that yard by a cop, he goes down in history. So many people know Sharky's name from that riot because the COs took his life. He was right there in the thick of the battle. You can see him. You can see him rushing into a crowd of blacks, and then the cops shoot him right here. It's understood. He knew. Everyone knew that day. And every time you engage behind those walls in California, I don't know about these other states, but in California, every tower has a Mini 14. That day, there was 3 officers, 2 officers and a sergeant that went up into that central tower with Mini 14s, and they fucking shot them things. They shot 15 people that day, 14 of them being Mexican or raza, 1 being black. They knew the riot was going to happen. And they said, let's have some target practice then. It's a different mindset. It isn't instilled in the blacks to be willing to die on the prison yard. Like he said, there's a lot of people that are going to say, man, I'm trying to go home, man. That doesn't mean they're a punk. Kind of means their priorities are straight. But those priorities don't work in prison. If you're a raza and you think like that, you're going to wind up with holes punched in you. Let's see a little bit more.
Ohio don't like Michigan. Michigan don't like New York. New York don't like Chicago. New Jersey don't like Texas. They don't do that. If you come in, you're a solid Mexican, you're down with them. Now, if you're on the West Coast, it might be a different thing because you got Sereno, the Northerner, the MAs. But when they just in the system in the Midwest, they rolling together and they rolling hard and they rolling deep. We, as blacks, are afraid of the Mexican gangs. Peace out.
So there he goes. That's his point of view. That's his belief, and you know that's his belief based on his 20 years in the feds. There's going to be a lot of blacks that are going to be mad at me for reacting to this, and that's fine. I didn't say, and I don't believe that all blacks are extremely afraid or even afraid, period. I think it's just a different mindset. I don't know the black mindset, and maybe Cartoon Chill from 16 to Life, Hoodie from the Hood, maybe they could do a video and they can say how blacks are raised in the hood, as far as is it part of their program where they have an understanding at a very young age they're gonna go to the joint and they're gonna put in work, or is that just not thought of until they start going to jail? The indoctrination process, the utilization of our ancestry and our warrior ancestry to have a certain mindset, mind state, and a kind of a bloodlust. Do they have the same thing? The fact that I can only say on the southern side, when people get involved in certain things, there is an extreme amount of arrogance that is bred into you. I don't know. Do the blacks have that same type of indoctrination and mindset and schooling to where they teach their people to believe they are the baddest motherfucker on that yard by themselves? Do they teach them to break down when they get in a cell, immediately break down the locker or the bunk or the desk, make you something nice, have it ready, and be willing to die and kill with that damn thing in your hand? I don't know. But as far as raza, that's the reality. I'm ready for all the hate that's gonna come with this, and somehow I'm gonna be racist to some people for reacting to a black man's video, speaking from his experience. Do I agree that blacks are afraid of Mexicans? No. Do I agree? Do I believe that they respect the way Mexicans move? I think so. I think anyone who has been to battle is always going to respect the potential of their adversary. If you don't, you will wind up a victim. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out of here.